What's going on YouTube? My name is Gabe. Thank you so much for taking time to watch the channel. Unfortunately, cannot bring you a course vlog this week because it snowed in BC. Unfortunate weather. However, because of putting together the first two course vlogs, which you can find in the description below, I learned a ton about my game and actually was realizing I made some huge mistakes. So today, we're going to be reacting to those mistakes, showing how I fixed those so that I can stay on track to hit my goal of shooting even and or under par by October 5th. Let's get it. So I've never filmed myself playing golf before, like maybe a couple range sessions, things like that, but never like a full round. And after doing this for the first time for a full round, wow, was it eye-opening. There were a lot of parts of my game that I thought were more solid than they ended up being. But this has been great because now I can identify the parts that I've been trying to fix but couldn't. Well, not that I've been trying to fix, but just my score wasn't really improving. I'd kind of stayed at like a shooting between 83 and like 88, sometimes like 90 on a bad day. And I thought the parts of my game that I could rely on were less reliable than I thought. So first one, putting. Okay, so with my putting, if you look at this clip here, okay, look how high up my toe is on this putter. Like it's like the toe is pointed so high up. That's insane. And so I had a bunch of 3-putts in these 2 rounds. And I didn't realize that when I stood over the ball, that my putter was that high up. So yeah, I need to fix that ASAP. So I have a little setup here in the basement that's gonna fix this problem. Check it out. All right, I couldn't get out on the course this week because we had like the freakiest snowstorm of all time out here in BC. However, I got a little setup here in the basement and check out this. So I'm staying at my girlfriend's place out in BC, and they had this old putting tool practice thing from like, it looks like 1995, but this thing's awesome. So let me show you how I'm fixing my putting using this carpet and this wonderful device right here. All right, look at that. Not a bad little practice setup. So this thing, you just hit the ball into it and it kicks it back to you. So boom. All right, so let's get into putting. So let's get our handy dandy Scotty over here. Also shout out to the Bridgestone BXS, my favorite ball. So as you can see from address, my previous putting angle, this looked okay, but the toe is still up. So I'm gonna show you here. What I did to fix this was that my previous angle, I would putt like this. So now what I've done is I've changed my hands entirely to go here. So it's right nice and flat, right over the ball. All right, let's try and get this one in. All right, let's do one more. Let's just get one more. Let's see if we can get one more. Come on. All right, so as you can see, just by fixing a small thing with my hands, my alignment on my putting got infinitely better. And now, from practicing here in the basement all week while there was a blizzard outside, my putts started way more online. I've been able to kind of just be way more consistent, even with just this, simple training setup. So that was huge. But see, number one, now this transfers into number 2, which is what I realized in my full swing was I dropped my hands way too low. And let me show you. So if you see here on this swing, my back, my shoulders are completely dropped. And if you look at the club face, the toe of the club is pointed way up. And so this was a comfortable position for me, but it was just a very unpredictable strike zone. And as you can tell, I'm leaving a good majority of the club face just like tilted upwards. So, that would always kind of promote an extra sense of draw or anything like that. So, and that's a problem. And it's the same issue I was having with my putter. So I actually went to the range the other day and just, started taking some swings and tried to keep the same upright feel. And here's some swings from that session. And what I noticed from that session too was my dispersion was a lot better on a lot of my shots. I kind of used those two trees you see out there as kind of like goalposts, and so I try and aim, in between those two, and I had no problem kind of controlling the ball. Another big eye opener for me was when I was hitting my 2-iron. So here, I'll pull up 2 screens here. So on one side, you're going to see, and these are both from the same range, so you can kind of get a good sense. So on one side is my old swing, and the other side is the new swing. And just look at how much toe is up on that old swing. Like, it's crazy. Like, it's basically the club's just resting on the heel. And so if you see with the new one, it's much flatter. And so that blew my mind. I had no idea I was, tilting it to that extent, because my contact was good, but it wasn't as good as it could be. And I would have some shots go swirly on me. So when I switched to this at the range, one, I felt like I had a ton more control. My body felt a lot more sturdy, and I just felt like I could hit it, on command a little more, which is what we want out of our shots. So those are 2 pretty big takeaways already from just watching my first round. And they're obviously very similar in their nature in terms of how my posture works, and just, again, dropping the hands, doing certain things that felt comfortable to my body, but aren't putting me in the best position to succeed. And so I started investigating a little more as to why that was happening. And I realized that, and this is the third thing I need to fix, which is my overall just like core strength in general, and posture. Because from being a music producer and sitting down at a console for hours and hours on end, I've developed just really bad posture habits, and I have I have kind of like, it's tough to keep my back straight. Like, just, I'm hunched over a computer all day like a demon. Like, no. So just years and years of doing that, I realized that posture has affected my golf swing, because it's the default way of, hunching the shoulders and dropping the hands, because if you hunch your shoulders, it's easier to drop the hands. But then once, and thankfully, I didn't realize this also until I had to edit the vlogs and we were in the snowstorm. So I had time to kind of work out, and been standing at the island all day as opposed to sitting at a desk, because I'm tired of sitting at desks. And I started to notice my posture getting better. And then I saw all these other things in the videos, and I was like, holy, like, there's a massive mechanical issue I'm fighting in my body that I need to address. And so that's the big one, step 3. So I've actually been working out every day, doing just like body weight exercises, burpees, push-ups, sit-ups, all those things, just to try and like reinforce my basic core strength. Because that's where I'm losing so much on my swing and so much control. And so now, just from doing that for like a week and a half, like, my posture feels so much better. And now when I stand over the ball, if I try and hunch over like I would previously, it actually doesn't feel natural, and it starts to bother me. So I'm liking that. And as you saw from that range session, it just looks like the swing just looks a little better. It looks like it functions more. And that's the ultimate goal here, because if I want to hit even and or better and or below par by October 1st, my big outrageous golf goal. So for those of you that haven't seen the first 2 vlogs, my big outrageous golf goal for 2020 is to hit even and or break par by October 1st. And we're hoping to do this consistently now as we just become much better at golf. So these are the 3 big takeaways from vlog 1 and 2. If you haven't seen them yet, check them out in the description below. If you have watched them, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Right now, we're going to stay on a consistent upload schedule of a new video every Monday. And then as soon as the weather starts to get better, I'm going to start cranking out these course vlogs more. And then obviously, when I'm back in Toronto in a couple weeks, there'll be a ton more content. So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy, and I'll see you next Monday.